Hello and welcome. This video will walk us through how to apply for a BIA opportunity. Upon receiving the link for the opportunity, you'll be brought to an opportunity details page within the applicant portal. You'll be able to see specific information for the BIA program you're applying to. And from this screen, you'll also be able to begin the application process. Go ahead and click on the Apply button to get started. Once you click on Apply, you'll be brought to a page that asks you to either register if you're a new user or enter in an email address and a password that you've already registered with. To register as a new user, go ahead and click on the Register button. Upon clicking Register, you'll be able to establish an email address which will become your username. And you'll be able to create a password and confirm a password. This will become your username and password as you're logging into the Amplifund applicant portal and as you apply to any BIA opportunity. You'll also be prompted to enter in some contact information when you're registering. Any field with an asterisk is a required field, so go ahead and populate all required fields and feel free to fill in anything that's also not required. You'll also be asked to provide organization information. If any of the information is same as the above, click on Same as the Above to auto-populate the organization information section with that info. Type in the organization name, address line 1, city, state, and postal code to complete the registration process. Go ahead and click the Register button when you're all set. You'll be brought to a page of terms and conditions, and once you accept, you'll be brought back to the opportunity details page where you'll be able to apply for the grant program. Click on the Apply button, and as you can see, you're already registered and logged in. Once you're in the application, you'll notice this timeline at the top of your page. Depending on the opportunity you're applying for, the timeline may vary. For example, the opportunity you're applying for may not have a performance plan. The first page of the application will allow you to type in some specific and some project information. Type in your application name, which allows you to name the program or name the project that you're applying with and that you're proposing. In the next field, go ahead and type in the total amount of award requested. The dollar amount that we type in here should be the total amount of the award we're requesting from DED, as well as any match you're including, if match is applicable on this particular opportunity. So for example, on my total amount of award requested, let's say that I'm applying for $50,000 of DED funding, and then I'm going to match that with $25,000. My total amount of award requested is going to be that $50,000 plus the $25,000 I'm matching, so I'm going to type in $75,000. Down here in the total amount of cash match, I'm going to indicate that of this $75,000, $25,000 of it is match. The next section is your primary contact information. A lot of this may auto-populate from the username that you're logged in as. Some information may vary. Feel free to continue to type in relevant details in your address, city, state, and postal code. Once you have all the relevant data populated here, you'll be able to save and continue and or mark as complete. The mark as complete functionality needs to be entered for every page you're on. An application can only be submitted if all sections have been marked as complete. So if you're not entirely done with this page yet, you can save and continue. But if you're confident that this is the final edits you want to make to this page, go ahead and mark this section as complete. If any required fields aren't populated in any of the application forms or in any of the sections, you will not be able to mark as complete. In order to move on to the next section, you can either click on the name of the section from the timeline, or you can click Save and Continue, and you'll move on automatically to the next section in sequence. Since this project information page was marked as complete, I can see that there's a check mark at the top in my timeline under project information. The application form section features all the application forms specific to the opportunity you're applying for. Application forms may vary depending on the BIA program you're applying for. To access the application forms and the questions within the forms themselves, go ahead and click on the name of the form. Clicking on the name of the form will bring you to the actual form where you'll be able to start typing in information for the application. Any field with an asterisk is a required field, so pay attention and make sure that you're following all guidelines and that we're answering all required questions. Scroll down and continue to view all the information and fill in all required fields and any other fields that are necessary on the specific application form you're looking at. As I mentioned previously, each form is going to need to be marked as completed once it's complete, but you will not be able to mark as complete if there are required fields that have not been populated. This specific error means that you have fields that need to be populated, and the application form will tell you by highlighting in red the ones that need to be completed. You will be able to partially complete a form and save your progress. To go to the next application form, you can either click Save and Continue, or you can navigate to the top and go back to Application Forms to see a list of all application forms. I'm going to click on the next application form here, and we're going to answer this question. If I click Yes, then there's more information that I need to populate. If I click No, then I'm done with this specific form. I'm going to go ahead and mark this form as complete. I'm going to move on and I'm going to go back to our application form section. And I want to point out that you'll be able to see a status of all application forms here. So for example, on this first application form, it's still in progress because I don't have all required fields populated. This application form was complete and it's showing as complete. I have not yet clicked into these application forms. Therefore, they're showing up as new. All application forms must be completed, all required fields must be populated, and then the form must be marked as complete in order for you to eventually be able to submit your application. The For Further Questions is featured on every application and provides with basic DED contact information for assistance in completing the application. While there's no information to actually input on this page must be reviewed and marked as complete as well. The next section we'll visit is the budget section. Depending on the application or the opportunity you're applying for, the budget categories viewing in this view will vary. However, what remains consistent is that to add information to a budget category, we're going to go ahead and locate the category we want to add information to and click on the plus sign. This is going to allow us to enter line items for a specific budget category. Please follow the guidelines for your specific opportunity and start typing in information for your line item. We're going to name each line item. You can add in a description, and you can type in a direct cost. If this particular line item has any match on it, your direct cost field will need to reflect the total amount of DED funds you're proposing to spend plus anything you're matching. So if I'm planning on $10,000 total with $5,000 being match and $5,000 being DED funds, I'm going to type in 10,000 on the direct cost. In my calculate match section, I'm going to click yes. And here I can type in my cash match as either a dollar amount or a percentage. As soon as I type in the dollar amount that I'm matching this with, my grant funded field and my cash match field populate. So we have our direct cost, which is the total of DED funds plus cash match. And then we enter in the cash match. So the grant funded and the cash match is divided. Once you're done with the line item, go ahead and click on Save. You'll also be able to see in this view how much was added for grant funded and how much was added for match for a total budgeted amount. To continue to add more line items, go ahead and click on the plus sign within any one of these budget categories. When you're done with a budget, you can go ahead and mark as complete. Not all opportunities will have a performance plan, but if you're applying for an opportunity with the performance plan, access the performance plan by clicking on the performance plan button on the timeline, and you'll be able to add specific program-related goals. There's going to be an explanation of how you need to enter information, and in order to add performance plan goals, go ahead and click on the plus sign next to any goal name. You'll be able to indicate how you want to track progress on this by clicking the drop-down of the goal type and toggling to choose what you're tracking. So for example, if you need to enter in a narrative response here, then you can choose narrative. If you want to track something by a number, go ahead and click on numeric goal, and then you can enter in the number you want to be achieved as well. Percent achieved goals allow you to indicate the percentage, and that can be entered in as a decimal. And percent change goals allow you to indicate a jump or an increase or a decrease from one percentage to another. When you're done, go ahead and click on Save, and you can see that the goal has been added. Repeat those steps to continuously add more goals as necessary. The performance plan section will also have to be marked as completed once you have everything done. Once all of your sections are marked as completed, which you'll be able to verify by seeing that every section has a check mark in it, you'll be able to go to the final stage, which is Submit. This is going to be the Submit page, which is going to instruct you if you have any sections that aren't marked as completed, and is going to direct you to where you have to go. So for example, I can see by looking at my timeline that this section looks good, the budget section looks good, but my application form section and my performance plan section does not have a check mark. It's also going to point that out to me here. I have forms containing required fields that have not been completed, and you have empty strategies in your performance plan, which require goals. Go back and ensure that you're completing all application questions and marking all forms and sections as complete. Once you do that, you'll be able to successfully submit your application. To download a copy of your application for review, go ahead and click on the Review button. Thank you very much, and good luck with your applications.